gloomy day here in the Mitten State, but the best thing to do on a gloomy day is to go buy a car, or in this case, another truck. Seen it through the the marketplace deal, and just had to have it. So I told the guy, no, I'm not going to barter with you, nothing. I'm going to give you what you want for it. I told him I'd come get it today. We're going to go pick this truck up, sight unseen type deal, but there's a caveat to that. I already know everything about this truck. This truck is a truck I call Fred. Fred was a truck that I bought back when I was 18 years old in college. It has been 10 years, a whole decade since then. I got rid of it around 2016, and it's time for Fred to come home. Let's go ahead and take a look at Fred. Well, here he is. This is Fred. This is a 1999 F-250 Super Duty, and it has a 5.4 liter 2-valve in it, automatic transmission, 4-wheel drive. And this truck was my truck back in 2013. I bought it as it was an old used plow truck, and it was kind of beat up, not terribly bad, but beat up enough to where it needed some restoration. And I ended up restoring the whole thing the year after I bought it. Fenders, doors, the fenders got this one got replaced, this door was replaced, and the bed obviously is off of a 2012, which was brand new. The year before I did the repair work in 2013 on it. The whole cab got redone, the bed got redone. The bumper was made. Obviously it's kind of falling apart now. It's been outside sitting for a long time. It used to have a 12,000 pound winch mounted in it. The engine was replaced. It blew up on me at like 170 something thousand miles, and then the transmission went out shortly after I got back from being in AIT in the military. And I decided that there was no longer going to be a reason to keep it. It just was, at this point, I've had $11,000 put into this thing. It obviously wasn't worth it. And being a younger guy, it just kind of wasn't practical for me. So I got something different and everything else like that. And I regretted getting rid of this thing ever since. I finally found this thing online last night and I bought it back. So let's kind of take more of a look at it. As you can tell, it's got moss and stuff growing all over. The hood's disgusting. The interior is actually in fairly good shape. And here's a headliner I put in it all them years ago. It smells like a mouse house in here, like something fierce. They got into everything in this poor truck, everything. And I was not like that when I got rid of it. The rocker panels are starting to rust again. Thankfully, the cab corners look like they're in decent shape. It's the same on both sides, so obviously it wasn't like that when I got rid of it. It was rust free. It's been sitting for a long time. It has 186,847 miles in it, I believe, if I remember right. Still even got the radio. It even has the Duck Dynasty, back when that was a big deal, when you're a redneck, cover on it that I had back in college. It still has that on it after all these years. It still has the radio I put in it, all of it. It has the flashing lights I had in it, all of that stuff. They haven't changed much on this thing at all, except for the transmission. They rebuilt it. He ended up getting rid of it for a Corvair, and then that was an old lady that couldn't drive it no more, so it sat since 2018. This thing is kind of a mess right now. It doesn't run. It doesn't have any brakes. The calipers are seized up in the front. The pads are actually out of it in the back of the truck. We just did that so we can move it. And yeah, it's the bed's in good shape still, besides the tailgate, and it's got a little bit of damage here now because it backed up into something. Tailgate's got a dent here starting to rust. This side of the bed's in really good shape still, no rust on that. And then this is the passenger side. See all the moss and stuff. There's a bunch of moss on the mirrors. Doors going now. The rockers are going again. So I'll have to go ahead and do a revive on this. There's more mouse house stuff in here. It's crazy. But this is him. This is Fred. He's got a rebuilt transmission about not even 10,000 miles ago in it. And yeah, all that stuff. I can't believe it. It's back home. So yeah, it's been puking out brake fluid there too. That's great. But yeah, the tires are junk. They're the tires that I sold with it. They're they're about wore out. Need new tires on it and everything too. I mean, I did everything in this truck. I put the exhaust on it. It's got a Hedman headers, straight pipe back to a Flowmaster 40 series. Exits over here by the tail, by the front or back tire, in front of the back tire here on the bedside. I hydro-dripped the rims because a buddy had a business, thought it was a cool gimmick thing for him to get some advertisement out of me for. So I used to bring it to car shows and stuff. And yeah, the headlights are dingy and crappy. That all needs to get replaced, and like I said, it doesn't run. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna figure out all what it needs. I'm gonna try to get it to run. I don't know what's wrong with the engine. They said it just wouldn't start. It had a bunch of problems with the old man and lady that bought, or that got it traded to them after I got rid of it. And they just, it sat for years. They probably had it for a year, tried to drive it, and then they tried to sell it, and then it broke on them. And when they actually were trying to show somebody it, they were trying to drive it and it wouldn't start. And it hasn't started since. And that was back in 2018. It's going to be some work. It's pretty tore up now, and it's really sad to see that this thing has gone this far. But that's what happens when you let something sit for, what, 7 years now. It eats them up, guys. You know, sometimes life gets in the way, and, you know, I get that and stuff, and I should have never sold it in the first place. I was an idiot. I was a young kid, dumb. Other priorities in life that I thought were more important, but obviously I come back to it. Now it's mine again. So super, super stoked to have this thing back. Get it on the road, get you guys' opinion on it. What should I do? Should I leave the 5.4 in it? Mind you, this engine only it has less than 70,000 miles on it. So I got it out of a used truck with 64,000 miles in it. I think I put it in this truck at like 177, something like that. So it's got like, yeah, like 70,000 miles on it. Yeah, well, what should I do? Should I keep that engine in it? Should I throw a 7.3 in it? I might have a lead on a 7.3. I know that runs. It's got high miles on it and whatnot. It'd be a parts truck, but the engine runs good. So yeah, let me know what you think. I want to go ahead and get this thing running. We'll see if we can go ahead and get that done here in a little bit. So super stoked. I love my truck. I missed Fred, and I'm glad I got him back now. So after all these years, he's mine again. All right, so we got him home. Fred is at the house. Mosquitoes here are terrible this year. So he's here. Driveway's kind of a mess. Got a lot going on. Renovating the house, get ready to sell, all that other stuff. So we're gonna try to work on the truck just for a little bit. I'm not gonna do too much craziness with it right now. I got the shop back out. I want to go ahead and hopefully see if we can get this thing kind of cleaned out a little bit. It's pretty nasty on the inside. We got a little bit of a light now, so I can actually see what was 100% going on. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and vacuum this thing out, and let's go ahead and take a look. You can see it sat. The mice got into probably just about everything, and yeah, it's fairly disgusting. It smells god awful. And it's got a chip on the windshield. That sucked. That was a new windshield when I put it in all them years ago. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is super simple. I'm just going to really quick and dirty vacuum it out. Try to get all the nastiness out that I can as fast as I can just with the vacuum. I'm not going to do anything too deep clean just yet. But I want to go ahead and try to make it to where I can sit in this thing and not feel completely and utterly disgusting. So let's go ahead and get that done. Let's try that. Let me bring you guys up here. So that right there, that wiring, that was, I believe, the controller that mounted in here, which is gone, for a light bar I had up in this truck. And yeah, they just kind of let the wires chill there, and they cut it and didn't do anything with it. They left the wiring harness in there and everything, looks like. I don't know what owner, the first or second one, did that after I got rid of it, but obviously one of them did. The floor mats were gone. There's obviously, this thing's trashed. I mean, there's nastiness all over the gauge cluster and everything. I mean, this thing is absolutely just trashed. I am super, super sad to see that this thing looks this way. But yeah, over here is really bad. Underneath all that, the passenger side looks like it got it the worst. But yeah, I mean, there's just, this thing was just trashed, man. Absolutely trashed. But what I wanted to show you guys they turn off the vacuum. So, riding solo today. So what I wanted to show you guys was the mileage. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I sold this truck with 184,000 miles or so on it. As you can see, it's got 186,000, almost 187,000 on it. I sold this truck back in 2016 or 2017. So, all those years, it has been driven less than maybe 3,000 miles. So that means that the transmission, which was rebuilt because that's why I sold it, must only have a couple thousand miles on a brand new rebuilt transmission. I know the guy had paperwork for it too, and I still keep in contact with his son, so I'm gonna see if I can actually get that paperwork, because I don't see it in the folder. So actually, there's another cool part of this story too, is I had a folder that I would keep all my receipts and whatnot in for the repairs and whatnot, and anything else I did to the truck. And I gave that folder away, obviously, when I sold it. That way they would have all the receipts. They know I'm not, pulling their leg about what I've done to it and all that other stuff. Well, they kept everything, even from, the transfer of the two owners after me. And I got it back. My handwriting on the envelope, still all that. All my receipts back in there from like 2013 when I first bought it, all the way on up to when I got rid of it. And yeah, even some other receipts when they worked on this too. They had it towed to the grandson's house, a receipt in there for the tow truck for that and all that other stuff too. Yeah, so it's just a real huge flashback. They didn't really change a whole lot with it. Like I said, some of the stuff's missing, but everything else that you guys see to this truck is what I did. I mean, it's missing the bed bands. I put on some real tree bed bands on the bed because all the four-wheel drive stickers and stuff were gone. And it's missing that. It's missing the light bar. Obviously, some of the interior stuff for that light bar and whatnot are missing as well. But otherwise than that, everything's here. The headliner, I put that in. My very first headliner I ever did. It's actually in fairly decent shape, except for the middle here. It's a little saggy there, but I mean, otherwise than that, everything else is in super duper good shape. But yeah, we're gonna work on it for just a little bit on the trailer. I got other things to do in the house. I just want to get it cleaned up. We're gonna throw a battery in it too, and then see if we can figure out what might be going on with it. He said it didn't run, so they don't know why it didn't run. I noticed some things were disconnected underneath the hood. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and finish cleaning it up. I don't know where that belt, I don't know if the belt came off of this or what, but I didn't check actually, come to think of it. I don't know if that belt belongs to this truck or not, but I know I put a new belt on it too not too long before I got rid of it, because the pulley seized up and snapped it on me going to work one day. That's disgusting. Doing this one-handed, one person, it's kind of a pain, but everybody else has other obligations and stuff. I can't wait, I miss my truck, and I'd love to get this thing started and on the road as fast as possible. So obviously the fuse box is apart, inside and out. I'm sure they tried to fix it but couldn't fix whatever they thought was wrong with it, which like I said, I can't tell you what's wrong with it. I don't know yet. I haven't looked at anything. But yeah, that's disgusting. It's not even coming off. I got more crap all up on the dash. Just general disgustingness everywhere. So there's a quick and dirty on that. Let me go ahead and turn off the vacuum. And you know what I have not done yet? I don't know what's in the center console. Let's take a look. Oh, nothing. It's actually really clean. Nice center console. So, hey, look at that. Old for sale sign. Yep, look at that. I'll blur out the number on it. But yeah, this is obviously an old sign. And they had it up for sale the first time. They wanted $5,000 for it. I didn't get it anywhere close for $5,000, obviously, because of the condition that it's in now. But like I said, I think I've had $11,000 in this truck before I got rid of it. So, about to have a bunch more, but I can't be happier. So, wish they had a date on these. I think, oh, look at that, a bunch of ants on it. Ew. Yep, get out of here. Great, now there's ants all over the place. Oh, I sucked them up. Alright, where's the ant colony living in? Come here. Alright, got the ants out. So the hood latch is broken. It don't work. It it's actually seized up completely. Yeah, so I think the next step that I want to do in this truck is I'm gonna grab a pair of pliers for the fuses. I'm gonna check them all and then see if anything was blown immediately. I'm gonna put a battery in this thing and then I'm gonna see what it does. I'm not gonna try to start it right away or nothing like that. I'm gonna take an inventory about what's been disconnected underneath the hood and go through all that stuff. And then I think after that, I will go ahead and see what it does when I turn it over. I don't know what kind of condition the engine's in. It was redone by me years ago before I got rid of it. Like 2 years before I got rid of it, I put an engine in it. And, you know, low mile, 64,000 mile engine that I redid the timing chains and painted the block, all that stuff. New gaskets up top, you know, Excel coil packs, all that stuff. Let's go ahead and get the vacuum out of here. I'm gonna grab my tools out and then I will go ahead, pop the hood, grab my pair of pliers, like I said, start checking fuses, and go from there, since obviously the electrical covers and stuff are all off of this. Good place to start, where they left off. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and I will put y'all right down there so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just one by one gonna pull these fuses out and check them. That one's good. I know it's not the best thing to do whenever you want to put power and everything else to it, but with all the mice damage inside the cab of this thing already, and with everything that's been going on, with this truck sitting for so long outside the way it has, I wouldn't want to trust it. So I'd rather just do it this way, just in case I find something that might have already been done. And I know these are all good prior to me, or at least hopefully they're all good prior to me trying to start it or turn on the ignition for that matter. So if something does happen, I can go ahead and kind of rule out if it was something that was done before or after, you know, me messing with it or not. So far, these are all good. And you know, it doesn't take that long to do all of this either, so that's super nice. And I don't think any are missing either, so that's a plus. Yep, that one's good. You know what, come to think of it too, back when I owned this truck, I was at my my girlfriend's house at the time, now my wife. So it's been a long time. Anyway, I was at her house and it started acting up on me, and there's a gem module located up behind the fuse box, and that went bad on me, I believe. If I remember right. It's been about what, 9 years since that happened, 8 years since that happened, so I might be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure I replaced a gem module in this at one point. And those are pretty common to go in these too, so maybe that is what happened. Not 100% sure, but there's all that stuff. Those are all good. All the fuses are good. We can go ahead. I popped the hood, so I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys over there. I tripped. Ow. Okay. All right. So this is what we're working with. It's a Triton 542 valve. You know, you see the Excel coils and stuff I put in this thing and whatnot all them years ago. It looks obviously dirty. They didn't wash it or do nothing else like that. The mice really got to the firewall padding on this insulation, that is. So that's great. Battery was replaced in 17. That was probably just after I sold it, because I think I had a AutoZone, or I think I had an AutoZone brand battery in it, so they might have replaced that after I got rid of it. Replaced a coolant reservoir when I redid the engine. It's hard to tell on the engine from the top side, but yeah, I did have it painted. We can probably look on the side of it, you know, and put headers on it and all that other stuff, and the exhaust system was done on it. So yeah, but you know, it's been sitting a while. There's lots of moss and just dirt built up on this thing. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna check the fuses on this side too, and I noticed that there's some stuff disconnected. The alternator harness, wiring harness, was messed with at one point. They obviously had the intake off of it, so that's great. Or not the intake, but well, yeah, the air intake, I should say. And I also noticed there, I believe that's to the regulator for the fuel on the rail, so that's off vacuum wise. I don't know if that was like that when it messed up on them or not, but that's probably gonna be a problem. So I noticed that right away. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna take these fuses out and check them, and if they're all good, I'm gonna throw that battery in this thing and see if I can hear a fuel pump, you know, turn on. The belt is actually off of it too, so they did take the belt off for whatever reason or another. So hopefully nothing's seized up on it. The alternator is fairly new too. I put an alternator in it, you know, nice sticker on it. So yeah, or I take that back. I put an alternator on it, and then they also put 3 alternators on it, they told me. So yeah, he was having some other issues too, and I think that's why he said that they messed with the wiring and whatnot on it too. So they were getting cheap alternators for it, and then they went and got a good one, and they didn't have no issues. So all right, let me go ahead and take this stuff off and verify if anything's wrong. Oh, hey, you know what? Look at that. Hard to tell, but right there, them wires are messed up. The mice got a hold of this thing, I think, pretty good. So, we're in for a treat, I'm sure. Okay, we're back. Fuses all look okay. This relay box, I forget what it's for, but that wire that looked like it was messed with was definitely messed with. It was soldered, actually. It wasn't chewed, and it just fell right out. So that relay wasn't even plugged in all the way. That's an issue. So I got to figure out what that relay was for. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't remember. I have to go look at it, and I'll just post it in the comments or on you know, the top of the video here, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and push that thing back in here, and then see if that helps what's going on, because I don't know who did that. I don't believe I did that. Now let's go ahead and put in that vacuum line. I think that thing is pretty jacked up by the looks of it, but let me see if I can reach my hand in there without dying. It's barely hanging in there, but it is what it is at this point, honestly. There's not a whole lot I can do about that right now. Oh, hey, look at that. I don't even know if that's in anything back there either. That's an issue. So I'm gonna have to climb up on this thing and lean over the hood and take a look. Oh, wow. Look at that. What a nice body ground. I don't think that belonged there. Oh, it didn't. It broke off, so they just did that. I mean, you know, I guess it is what it is. The mice chewed just about everything back there. Hopefully they didn't get to any more wires, but we'll see. I don't have faith in that at all. You happy? Okay, I hope you're happy. All right, so there's that. Now, it looks like everything's connected otherwise. Let's go ahead and throw in the battery. Okay. Well, I don't see any smoke yet or smell anything on fire, so that's a plus. Donor battery's in it. Everything seems to be okay. You know what I should do too before I do the dumb thing and just kind of crank this thing over? I should really check the oil in it, because oh, hey, look at that. Dipstick snapped off. Great. So I don't know how much oil's in it, so I'm not gonna do anything too crazy with it. That's awesome. Not great. More work. Put the key in it, see what it does, if it's mad or happy or whatever. It's making noise. I don't know what kind of noise that is, but it's making it. Sounds like a weird gurgling noise. Okay, so radio turned on, gauges went on. It says it's a full tank of fuel, which would be crazy because that's a lot of fuel. Pray to the Lord, and let's see what this thing does when I crank it. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Alright, well there's that then. It does nothing. Doesn't crank at all. You know what? I wonder though. Okay, I can't even shift it, so I don't even know if it's in neutral. The indicator's busted. Okay. Oh, it was not in park. I dropped it 3 clicks and it went into neutral and it just cranked. Okay. Well, it cranks. That's cool. Now, what I need to check is, do I hear a fuel pump coming on? I don't hear a fuel pump. Okay, I don't hear a fuel pump coming on, so that's not good. But it is cranking. So, I got a little bit more work to do, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and check the fuel pump circuit. Maybe this thing died on them and it was just a fuel pump that went. Let me go ahead. I'm actually going to put the camera out back by the fuel tank and see if we can hear that thing whine. So let me go do that real fast before I just trust my ears, because they should not be trusted, because I'm half deaf. So I'm going to stick you guys up here and you let me know if you hear anything. Okay. Let me go ahead and play through the video. See if y'all heard anything. Alright, so we're in the house here, and told you guys I had the paperwork from this back in the day, and sure do. So it's Fred's papers from back in the day, the original envelope. I got receipts here. So yeah, I mean, this is something that they did in 2018. Blur all that out. That was the tow when it got towed in 21 of the guy's house. But yeah, right here, this is some of the parts I got from this in 2013. That was that gem module I mentioned. But yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff in here. And then this is one of the coolest things. I forgot about this. They actually kept it. The original window sticker on that truck. So, you know, $28,550 back in the day. Oh, it's got a 38-gallon fuel tank in it. You know, all that bumper stuff, aero halogen lamps, all that cool stuff. You guys can read through that, right? The seat originally was a 40-20 split. A storage, it was the thing was destroyed. Those ones in it right now I changed to. I got them at that junkyard. The mice got to it pretty bad. But then this is all the optional stuff on there. A 410 ratio with a limited slip. That was a nice axle in that truck. It had the snow plow prep, like I said. It had a plow on it. Cab steps, those ones rotted out. Obviously those have been replaced. The shift on the fly was an option back in the day, still is, depending on the models. But yeah, and then trailer towing package, snowplow package again. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. So going through the receipts here from Fred, found a bunch of stuff that I did to it in the past, right? That's to be expected. I did a pretty good job trying to keep most of my receipts. Now I didn't keep all of them, but I kept a lot of them. But I was going through the paperwork here, trying to figure out the mileage on that truck when I sold it. So I'll come to find out I did sell it in 2017, and I sold it in the beginning of the year, in May. And would you look at this? I sold it when it had. There's the date when I had to put some papers over top of the other owner. This was the first person that I sold it to. That's how many miles were on it. 185,801. And it has just under 187,000 miles on it right now. So the second owner, after the gentleman that I traded that tractor for it was not driven at all after I got rid of it. So I thought I had about 185,000 miles, sounds about right, when I got rid of it. And it's moved maybe 2,000 miles, not even 2,000 miles according to this. So that's insane. After all those years, that truck was never driven. And this is where we sit with it. So I'm really stoked. We did all that testing on it and found out that everything is getting power. Thank God the mice didn't get to everything so bad. But yeah, now I go ahead and I feel a lot better knowing that all this stuff makes more sense. And it was what I thought it was. And good thing is, too, I kept a ton of receipts. And I can go ahead and fix a lot of the stuff because it had lifetime warranties on it, and I bought it. So it was in my name still. I found a bunch of receipts here. I called up to a couple parts stores. They got receipts for some stuff, too, like the calipers in the front that are bad. And I can go ahead and get those warrantied out. And then some other stuff, like the shocks, I got those, too. Those are lifetime warranty from Ranchero, or Rancho, however you say their name. I don't know. They're expensive. That's all I know. And I paid a lot of money for them, and I probably shouldn't have, but it did anyway. So now I'm going to go ahead and replace them because they look like absolute crap, and they probably are blown out by now for sitting so long. So yeah, they didn't drive it at all, and I pretty much got this thing back unmolested. Here is the receipt too. Cover that up here. I want to go ahead and make sure I do that for them. But there you go. That's where got all auto repair or whatever in Bay City up here. Picked it up and rebuilt it for that truck. $950 for that. And the date on this was 6/14/17. Had 185-ish thousand miles on it, 186-ish thousand miles on it when the transmission got built, and it has a couple hundred miles on a brand new trans. So it's pretty awesome. Hopefully the engine works good in it still, and get the fuel pump yanked out of that thing and redone, and I'll go from there with it. And hopefully I can go ahead and get this thing back on the road, and then I really just focus on the cosmetic things, hopefully. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're going to go ahead and call it a night now for good. I'm going to start working on the house, and I'll get back to it another day. We'll see you then. Well, it's a couple days later, and as you see, the truck is off the trailer and the wheels are off, right? So I was looking through my receipts and whatnot, and I found a bunch of receipts for the work that I did on this vehicle years ago. Turned out in my favor because look what I ended up getting. That's right, brand new calipers and brackets, no charge. Keep your receipts, guys. I gotta replace that brake hose, which I got. So that's what we're gonna be doing next. But you know, brakes are pretty simple and easy. You know, pretty simple stuff to do. And brakes go on everything, so kind of get a little bit annoying after a while showing you guys the same type of stuff. But yeah, here we go. Brake hose. Found the original receipt for them calipers too, which was awesome because it was like, what, $200-300 it was gonna cost me to do that, and I paid $0. So that's awesome. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna put the brake lines on this thing. I haven't looked at anything else on the truck really at all. I just did that because I know they needed to be done in order to make it roll, and we're gonna have to get this thing kind of out of here as fast as possible, hopefully under its own power even, because we're putting the house up for sale and we're not going to be here anymore. So this is all got to go, and if I don't have to put it on a trailer and haul it somewhere, I'd rather just drive it. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing running. So don't have pads on it yet. I got to order them. The ones that were on here were also fairly new as well, within what, 10-20,000 miles. They actually were in really good shape, or life-wise, they looked like they had a lot of life left. But yeah, you know how it is. It's just one of those things that seems to happen. I don't think this is the right hose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't the right hose. Great. I'll take this one off and go get the right hose. Awesome. Whatever, I'll get it off, take it in, have them match it up. We'll get my line wrenches. There it goes, finally. Alright. That was easy. Not really. But yeah. Now we gotta get that clip off in there. Look at that, it actually came loose. Surprising. That's why it's so different. I need to get 8 mil. Okay. Alright, that's off. I gotta pop that zip tie, but otherwise, cool. That's done. Alright. One brake line. Have to go back and get the right one because that one not the same at all. So Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Well, since we gotta wait for a brake line to get ordered because it was the wrong one, let's go ahead and see what we can do about dropping this 38-gallon fuel tank out of the way. Yeah, at least enough to where I can get to the connections for the fuel pump, check that out, and make sure that's got power. If it's got power, it still isn't getting fuel, I think we got a bad pump. Let's take the jack, and I put a 2x4 or 2x6, preferably, underneath it. Kind of give it a bigger range of support to hold the tank up, so it's not all that pressure in one little spot. And a big old extension. We'll see how much dirt I get in my face, because this thing is really dirty underneath. It doesn't look like they ever washed it. It might be a 13. I don't know. I think it's a 15. It's a 13. Yeah, of course. Of course it is. Why would it be anything that I think it is? That doesn't make sense. I mean, I have luck, and I don't have luck. Yep. Tasty. 3. That was nice. Nice shower of dirt and rust. They were half. That really suck. Alrighty. Alright, there's that one. Cool. I'm gonna roll out this way and get all this dirt off. Get this Lord. Wow. In my mouth. Oh, let's see. How much? Well, that one went right down. Nice. Yeah, let's hope this one does the same. Yep, close enough. Alright, it's definitely on the jack. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. We'll lower this down. I want to see how much this thing weighs. Oh yeah, there's some fuel in it. There's quite a bit of fuel in it. Let's go see what we got up there. See how it is. We'll go from there. Hope it works out. Can I see anything up there? See that? That fuel tank's got some fuel in it too, which is the best. Newer gas, kind of gross. And of course the heat shield's right in my way too, where I need to go. So that makes testing everything really crappy, because that's in the way. Heat shield is no longer used because the exhaust, the Flowmaster here, comes out right here. At least the bed's really nice. Really good shape still. Cab not so much. Cab's definitely gonna need some work. But yeah, alright, let's shimmy my way over to the back then. See where the best line of attack is gonna be to get to that. I think it's gonna be from over top of the axle. What I want to do is grab my test light, which I don't remember where I put it. Hey, oh, I put it over here. There it is. Grab the test light, get a good ground, get this set up, make sure I can get in here, and then see if I can get power to that plug. If there's power to the plug, if fuel pump's not pumping, then I know it's bad. So we'll go do that. Way up there. Right over there. There's no good way to get up in there, really. I might have to lower this tank down even more. Get some dirt over there, I guess. Yeah, that brake line is... that one was gone. Yeah, I don't know about the rest of him. When I get the tank down, I might just redo that brake line just because I'm here. Because it's really crusty too. So that's not great. I will probably have to redo that to make myself feel better at least. So should probably do that. Alright, after 5 minutes of fighting with it, I got it unplugged. So yeah, it's unplugged.
The other end's up, retracted itself up here somewhere. Where'd you go? So there's that end. So we're gonna go ahead and pin that into there for now. Then we'll go grab the battery, and then we'll go ahead and we'll test this thing real quick. See if we got power to the plug. If we got power to the plug, then that pump's bad. It's gonna come out, and then we'll replace that. Go from there. All right, got the battery in it. Get the tester onto something that used to resemble a ground. Then start probing these. Probably got a bad ground. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That brake line's already leaking. Great. That's screwed. Now I have to get in the whole brake line now. I gotta grab a better ground, so I'm gonna go grab some sandpaper or something. See what I can make happen here. So, grind it our way to a good little ground right here. Hopefully, anyway. Let's see. That should clip onto there. Now, let's see if this will work or not. Oh yeah, look at that. It's got power. So, we know we got power. Gotta be a bad fuel pump. So, let's go ahead, finish popping that thing out of there, and then I will go and see what I can do to get a new one. Alright, back here with the air hose. Let's go ahead and blow this thing off. See, this whole truck needs a really, really good cleaning. Less of a chance of crap blowing in on this thing if we don't want it to. Alright, let's get that pump out. I don't know if I can show on a good spot or not, so we'll try this. That's already off of there. And that one is now on. I think I gotta go get my releases for those. Give me a second. Alright, let me go ahead and see if I can get in here and get this off really fast. I gotta take my hat off. Come on. There we go. That was easy enough. Cool. Alrighty. Let's see if I can pop this off. Notice I'm not hitting it that hard. I'm just tapping it. Just tapping it. You don't want to go too crazy on these things. There you go, that's better. At least the plastic ones are a little bit better than the metal ones. The metal ones are really hard to get off sometimes. You You gotta press them down and do all that craziness with them. Now this will come out. Some rust on that too. Take my head off. See my messed up hair. Just stick my head in there and see what am I got going on. I think this thing's got clips that hold it down. Oh, that feels old. Oh, that thing smells terrible. Come off like that. I'll have to drop it down more. Not left-handed either. Okay. Okay. Ow, that hurt. Alright. Now it's all the way on the ground. Okay, so I just drug it out. I just drug out the tank. Let's go ahead and see what's inside it. It looks like absolute crap in there. 100% garbage. And that fuel is nasty smelling. Very, very nasty smelling. I'm gonna get this thing out of here. Huh? Huh? How do you come out? Tell me your secrets. I'm gonna drop this in here. How did they come out? Huh? Those tabs gotta get pressed. It should just pop out. There it goes, yep. Those tabs had to be pressed right there, that one there and the one on the other side. And then, ooh. Spilling gas everywhere, one-handed. Here, sorry. Good enough. Alright. There we go. Here's the fuel pump. Needs to be replaced. So, there's that guy now. Awesome. It's a round 4-pin fuel pump, so I'm going to go ahead and look at that one online, and when they call me for the brake line, we'll go up there, grab that stuff. I will clean out this tank. As y'all can see, it is dirty. Dirty tank. You don't want none of, look at all that back there. Yeah, we don't want none of that getting into the fuel system at all. So hopefully the pump strainer did its job and kept most of that crap out when it was running. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a pump for it, put it in there, see if we can get it fired up. Alright, well, you guys can't tell by the sky and the lights being bright in the garage. It's quite late now in the day. It's around, I don't know, we get about an hour before the sun fades completely and I lose light. So I still have this thing apart. I went out and I grabbed a bunch more parts for it. I just want to go ahead and try to get it slapped together. It's supposed to rain tomorrow at noon. So, and I don't want to go out here in the morning and try to slap it all together and be in a huge rush. So, all I got to do is, I got to put in the new fuel pump here. So, looks good. Had it there, one in stock, surprisingly enough. I had to go to a different parts store though and get the brake pads for the front because I didn't have any brake pads for it. So I got some ceramics, which is really nice. Keep down on that brake dust. And then, yeah, so I got brake line too. I ripped that one out. I'm gonna put that one in here. Putting this in is gonna be pretty simple. Obviously, I'm gonna go ahead and do the line real quick. I'm gonna clean the tank out. Really, all I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna slosh all the gas around inside of it. I'm gonna pull it out from the truck completely, and then I'm gonna try to see if I can get all of that sediment to go down to the one end where I can stick my hand in there and with a rag, I got some shop towels that is, and then get all that sediment out and the gas, and then we'll go from there. So mosquitoes are gonna start getting bad, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that stuff, and I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna videotape me putting this thing back together, as in like just finishing it up, and then we'll see if it wants to start actually. So okay, I'm not gonna go ahead and bore you with the details. Putting the fuel pump stuff in it was super simple. It clips in, you know, goes on, we tighten it up, and then we throw it in the car, or in the truck that is. So that way we save some time out here and I can go ahead and get some work done instead of worrying about this camera. So
All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get this all done, and hopefully this thing will fire up. Well, an update. Got the brake line on the back. It wasn't that bad. I hand bent it with my thumbs. Turned out pretty nice. We can go ahead and actually take a look at that. You can't really see it that great here, but up into there. So the hand bent all the way down in all the pockets where it belongs. Worked out good. It was a little long, so I just made that little service loop there, I guess we'll call it. And got the fuel tank out. Underneath the truck completely here. That's gonna need new hose actually. That's pretty crusty. But you can look inside. Super duper clean now. So gotta clean out as much as I possibly could. So we're good to go. Now let me go ahead and put this thing in. We'll see where it goes. Okay, it's been a really long night. It's pretty late now. It's been about 2 hours. I got the tank in. Everything's hooked up. And let's take a look at this now. So, turn the key on. You hear that fuel pump just buzzing away. I don't see any leaks either. So, that's good. I'm gonna let this thing prime for a while. And then we're gonna go ahead and crank on it and see what it does. I don't know if it's gonna run or not. I should actually plug in the air hose. Already did. It's gonna need that. And then yeah, this thing should work. Should. Doesn't have a belt on it or nothing, but that's fine. We just want to hear it fire off to see if this thing's gonna run. So let this thing prime for a while now. Let's go ahead and see if it wants to start. Battery connections. Battery connections are loose. There we go. Just finger tight will do. Let's try this again. Still making that weird noise. Wish that would go away, but it hasn't. Alright, let's see what it does. Well, if you guys noticed, the RPMs aren't even moving on that, which is kind of crazy. The engine seems like it's rolling over okay, so that's slightly concerning. Huh. Alright, well, that didn't fix it, obviously. We'll go ahead, call it a night, and then go back at it tomorrow and see what else is wrong with this thing. Wish me luck. So, as you see, we got Fred loaded back up on the trailer. Reason why, because last night we looked at it and we couldn't figure out why it wouldn't start still. So fuel pump was on and checked everything again this morning. Everything looked good. It even had power to the ignition coils. So I don't have a good scanner like that. Obviously we work on stuff that's typically older, just in general. So we're taking it to brother-in-law. He's a pretty smart dude, knows what to do with all this stuff. He's got all the electrical testers and the scanners and all that stuff. So he'll be able to figure out what's going on with this thing in no time. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this now. And then he works pretty quick. So I'm not sure how much I'll be able to get on video. So he's always pressed for time and whatnot. And he's doing us a favor just by looking at it anyway. So last minute especially. So appreciate you, Brian. Thanks. So we'll see how it goes. Well, as you see, we got it running now thanks to Brian. Brian, what's your YouTube channel handle?
So right in this fuse box here, you got something going on. You need to clean all this up. It's just got corrosion. It's
Wow. So, yeah, Brian's the guy. That's very, very smoky. Oh, from the water coming down the road. got the truck figured out, thanks to Brian. We're on our way home now, so I didn't take great video when we were there. Like I said, he works quick, so I didn't know he was even going to go ahead and try to start it right there, which I'm glad that he did. It worked. What happened was he plugged in his scanner, and the scanner was having a fault reading the PCM. So, and the fuel pump would continuously run. Sometimes it wouldn't. It didn't do that for me. It stopped at one point. So he immediately went over there, did the same thing I did, checked the fuses. Fuses for the PCM and whatnot were good. However, when he grabbed the pair of pliers that he had, he started pushing down on the fuses, the fuel pump would shut off like it was supposed to. And he's like, let's try it. So he grabbed the fuse and he took it out and in a couple times and he pressed it in there until the fuel pump shut off. And then he cranked that key and it started up immediately. So there's an issue with the fuse box. It's probably just because everything's corroded in there. The cover was left off of it, as you guys seen in the earlier part of the video. So I will have to go ahead and grab some tools, a file. He told me there's a diamond tip file that they make for those fuse boxes, and you can go ahead and put the diamond tip file in there. It's really fine. You get it in between the contacts for the fuses and clean them up. And then I'm gonna go out and get all new fuses for it, just because the ones in there, like that big one, were kind of corroded. Figured that was going to be a potential issue, but it wasn't the one that I cleaned up. It was the other one. So for the PCM, that is, not for the fuel pump. So it is what it is, but it's fixed now, and we have more work to do because the throttle's stuck and everything else. So I'll have to figure out what's going on there too. It's sat for 5 years, and for whatever reason, it seems like these newer vehicles, I mean, newer 99 is not new these days, but it's a lot newer than a 70s something, right? But for whatever reason, these newer vehicles, for whatever reason, seem to not take sitting very well compared to the old ones. So, see where we go. Let's go ahead and get this thing home and get it off the trailer. Start working on it more. And maybe, just maybe in this video, we'll take it for the first ride that it's had in 5 years. And the first time since I've gotten it back. So, it'll be great. Stay tuned. So, it's a couple days later, because I don't have time to do anything. And we're working on Fred again. So we're underneath him already. Had to run out and try to find AC compressor bolts, because the previous owner, they couldn't get it to run, thought it was a crank sensor, took out the AC compressor to put the crank sensor in, and took the bolts out, didn't leave them with the truck. And it's been like a week, haven't contacted me back, guessing they couldn't find them. So I had to try to go out and find these, and they don't make them anymore. I found this one on eBay, just one out of the 3 I need on eBay. Thank God, it was the only one on eBay that said it would fit this truck in the AC compressor style for the model year, and it was like 20 miles away, so I just went and picked it up. Actually, they dropped it off into my mailbox because they're super nice people. So I'm gonna give them a really good review on eBay, on their store. Super nice. Very, very cool that they did that, because they were leaving early, and that changed plans and everything else like that, but they were driving by my property, so they just dropped it off in the mailbox. Super nice. So like I said, they don't make these anymore. This is the only one I could find. So when I went to part stores and everything else like that, they don't have them. They don't have anything like it. So the next best thing, I made my own. Went up to the hardware store, and they had some threaded rod in the same pitch and thread, which is metric 8, 125 coarse thread, and then I welded a nut on the back of it, and then I got a washer. So you gotta do what you gotta do, and I don't want to go to a junkyard and try to get them off. They normally snap, so I figured I don't want to do that. I don't even know if these ones came out all the way, if they're snapped in the block or not, so we'll see. We shall see. Alright, so I gotta get way up there and get that thing out, or not out, but in all the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, you guys probably won't see much of that. I'm just gonna do it and get it done, go from there type deal, and then we'll see. We'll see if we can take Fred for the first drive in, I think, 5 years, because it's been down since 18. So yeah, and these tires are jacked up. Look at that. That's a huge knob on there. These things are jacked up. So I gotta get new tires for it too. I might swap out the rims too. I'm not 18 anymore. Camo dipped rims aren't as cool as they used to be. Alright, let's get this thing fixed. Okay, we're in Fred. we got everything underneath the hood done so far, and we still have a little bit of stuff to do, but nothing that will keep us from at least test driving this thing. So let's go ahead and get it started. Perfect. Seems to run really nice now. However, it's very faint. You see it's got a battery light on. So we're gonna take the tester. Let's go test that. Figured that was gonna happen again. They said they were having trouble with it. But hey, look at that. The belt's on there right. It's not trying to fly off. So let's turn the tester on. It's dying. It's not charging at all. So that's not good. Okay, well, it's not charging still. There's something else going on, but I don't have a whole lot of time to mess with it. So, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take Fred on a ride around the block. See how it does for the first time, and God knows how long, and the seatbelt's stuck too, so that's great. I'm sure there's a mouse house in it. You know what? We're not going to use the seatbelt. I'm done with it. Done with it. That's reverse. That's neutral. And that's drive. It's moving. We're just going to go right down the block to the cameraman's house. Tire's a little flat. That's okay. Still sounds good. This is such a good sounding truck. It's got a Flowmaster Super 10 on it, or a Super 44. I can't remember. It's been a long time. I'd have to look. But it's driving nice. Oh, hey, look at that. The battery light went off. Look at that. Battery light's gone. Brakes work really good. These tires are jacked up. Look at that. Turn signal turned on too. It wasn't working earlier. I'm guessing this thing just has had so much moisture in it that everything's pretty well kind of got a coating of corrosion on all the electrical. But yeah, I mean, it's driving. I mean, I'm not going that fast. The tires are pretty jacked up, honestly. Oh, I missed this truck. It still rides like a Super Duty, so that's the only crappy part. It stops. It stops fairly decent. Much traffic. Speed limit's only 25, so I try not to go too far over that. Alright. Go ahead and bring this thing back home. Alright. Coming back to the house now. Alright. I gotta get that shifter indicator fixed. That thing's jacked up because it's stuck on one. But yeah, there you go. It's already up to temperature. Oil pressure's great. It runs awesome. Throttle response is there. It hesitated a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't doubt this thing just needs to get the cobwebs cleared out of it. But, you know, it being that it only, you know, has ran for, what, 5 minutes? in totality by being driven and whatnot, that I don't really expect a whole lot from it, honestly. I'm surprised that it still works and runs as good as it does. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood, and let's go take a look and see if the alternator is actually charging that battery now. Ah, this truck sounds good though. Tire's a little flat. Needs to be aired up. Let me go ahead and do my janky hood release here. I need 2 hands. Not on fire. That's good too. Battery's not the right battery either, but it's big enough to run it, so whatever. Stick that guy in there. Or not. Oh yeah, it's charging now. I don't know why it wasn't when it was sitting. When I had it idling, it wouldn't charge at all. It was stuck on 11.8, 11.6 volts, depending on when I checked it. But there you go, it's charging. I actually undid the wiring harness on the alternator and plugged it back in. It was really loose, so I wonder if that did it. Even though it still read nothing after. I wonder if it just took it a second. Sweet, there he is. I gotta get a vacuum line for it still, some other small stuff. It really needs a car wash, tires. The inside smells absolutely horrible still, but it runs. It runs and it drives. Awesome. All right, there you have it. After all these years, finally got my old truck back, and it now runs and drives within about a week of me buying it. So take what you can out of the video. I know it's just me this time. Don't worry, Josh and I will be getting together soon to do more videos together. Our schedules just haven't been meshing up, just too much going on. So stay tuned for the next video, and make sure you guys remember, I mean, go out and do this type of stuff. I think I've spent in total out of pocket, besides buying the truck, I bought it for a really good price too. You couldn't even buy one of the beds. A nice newer bed for a 99 to 16 Super Duty for what I paid for the entire truck. And I bought that bed myself, and I paid $1,350 for it, and I paid less than that for the entire truck back after all these years. And I think I have like $200 into it with the fuel pump and brakes. And you gotta remember, I warrantied out a lot of parts too, so if I didn't get the calipers and whatnot, it would have cost me an extra like 400 bucks. So I just got lucky because I saved receipts. So make sure you guys go out there and do this type of stuff. Go find your old cars, get them back. Go find something sitting in the field or in someone's driveway or somewhere, and get it running like we do. We like to see these old vehicles, or vehicles that you used to have, like Fred here, back on the road, and into arms of loving and caring people like y'all and us. So stay tuned for the next videos. I'll be back at you here in a little bit. Things are starting to free up, so get ready for a new and exciting one. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, maybe like, comment, or subscribe.
For more hot content.